Through a tree window, I watch the clouds roll by, and in the white fluffy clouds, I see shapes and animals such as bears and elephants. I have not played this game for a long time, and as I do, I feel something inside of me split open and come alive again. There inside the shell is my inner child, the happy and bright daydreamer. For a long time I wanted to be serious and be taken seriously, but that pursuit made me miserable. From the outside, it may seem that following wonder and doing things in the spirit of play is whimsical and causes you to live in the unreal. But in my experience, it does the opposite. It reveals to you what is essential and what is true. What outside games did you play as a child, Wonder Weavers? I'd love you to share in the comments below. This week I have been working on the kitchen, and I have to say things are moving very slowly at the moment because I'm in the middle of going through my research library. I'm actually letting go of a really big part of my old life. I have mentioned in earlier vlogs that I intended to become a full-time academic, and at the end of my PhD, what could I say, my whole world fell apart, and I have spent a long time rebuilding myself, and a really essential part of that process has been my creativity, or reconnecting with my creativity. But lately I've realized in order to create space for the new, it's time to let a lot of these resources go. And as you can imagine, that is a huge internal process as well. There's been a lot of emotion that's come up, and yeah, I'm taking care of myself. Over the next couple of weeks, progress on the dollhouse will probably slow as I'm going through it, because it's, like I said before, it's massive. I have a lot of books. So if you have any tips of wisdom about going through this kind of process, I'd love to hear from you. So you may have noticed last week, Wonder Weavers, that I posted a Welcome to Little Worlds of Wonder video, and I decided to do this because it occurred to me that some of you may be coming to the channel thinking that it is solely a DIY channel, and it's not. I'm sorry if that disappoints you, but this is my artist vlog. And so I love sharing my little creative adventures with you, but it is also a way of documenting my journey. And as a result of sharing that video, which is just basically an introduction, letting you know who I am and little highlights of my journey so far, as a result of posting that, some of you have asked some really amazing questions, and what I thought I might do is sit down in the next couple of weeks and record a Q&A. So this will give you an opportunity to ask lots of questions about me, about my experience, about my relationship with creativity, and perhaps that will inspire you as you move forward. So I invite you to leave your questions in the comments, or if you don't feel comfortable in doing that, please feel free to email me. My details are in the description. This week I made a mini drying rack for herbs, and I will suspend this rack from the ceiling of the kitchen of the dollhouse once all of the furniture and appliances are installed. We're really close to doing that, Wonder Weavers. I'm almost there. Very soon the kitchen will be finished, and I know I keep on saying that, but I really mean it. We're almost there. But in the meanwhile, Wonder Weavers, I'd also love to hear from you. How are your projects going? Please share with me in the comments below. So now let's get to it. Let's make a mini drying rack for herbs. The week begins with construction inside of the dollhouse. Here I am, gluing skirting boards. As I work on the walls, I start imagining what else I'd like to include in the kitchen, and I find myself thinking about the relationship between kitchens and gardens. During the Victorian era, households commonly grew vegetables and herbs. These ponderings inspire me to make a drying rack for herbs. Since space is limited in the kitchen, I thought I might make the rack a hanging one. For the sides and ends of the rack, I'm going to use dowel rods and craft sticks. I'm planning to make a rack that is around 10.5 centimeters long. And initially I was going to use balsa wood sticks for the beams, but the sticks aren't long enough and I was going to have to glue them together. And in the end I thought probably the sticks wouldn't be strong enough to support a little bit of weight. So I'm going to use craft sticks instead. After cutting the sticks to size, I sand them. I also round the tops of 4 short dowel rods, which I'm going to use for the corners of the rack. From what I can glean from photographs published on the internet, during the Victorian era, hanging racks were suspended with rope. I'm going to actually make rope with beading wire and embroidery thread. But first, I take the 2 ends of the rack, and along each one, I punch 2 holes in them with my awl. Before assembling the rack, I stain all of the pieces with calligraphy ink. Next, I cut 2 lengths of beading wire, and both lengths are 20 centimeters. I apply PVA glue to the wire and then wrap embroidery thread around the wire. I leave the end of the wire exposed so that I can put it through the end of the rack or through the craft stick.
I make sure that both sides are the same length, and then I twist the top of the wire, creating a loop. To finish the rope off, I cover the exposed part of the wire with embroidery thread. I then bend this end upwards and wrap it around the upper section of the wire. I cut off any excess thread. Then I start assembling the rack. I first glue the dowel rods to the ends of the rack. And then I glue the sides to the rods. Finally, I glue the beams. Now it is time to test the rack. Let's take a sneak peek and see what it's going to look like in the kitchen. With the help of a pencil, I suspend it from the ceiling. I think it will be a lovely addition to the kitchen.
Thank you for watching, Wonder Weavers. I hope that you have a delightful weekend wherever you are in the world. Take care, stay well, and don't forget to play. Adios. Ciao.
What's that rhyme about herbs, Cordelia? Ah, yes. Rosemary green and lavender blue, thyme and sweet marjoram, hyssop and rue.